So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the top more rural suburb towns to West Hartford, Connecticut. I wanted to make this video because West Hartford itself, is a busy town. The houses are a little bit closer together, and of course, there's a lot of things to do in the center, and actually throughout the town. So because of that, some folks who are looking for a little more quiet, a little more of a suburb feel, but still want to be able to travel into the West Hartford area, um, want to learn a little bit about the suburbs of the surrounding area. So this is not any rating system. This is just going off some things that I've learned from living in the area for a while, some things that I know people like about these towns. And I wanted to share and give a little more information to folks that are looking in this area. Now, real quick, before we jump in, if you could just click the subscribe button. I'm committed to sending out new videos every single week about West Hartford, information about the town, surrounding towns, real estate information to keep everybody updated. So don't be shy. If you have questions, myself, my team, we get calls from people, just like you who are searching for information every day. We get texts, calls, emails, and we're always happy to talk and answer questions. So don't hesitate to call. Now let's get right into it. So here we have a map of Hartford County, Connecticut. Right here towards the middle is West Hartford. So I mainly wanted to look at rural suburbs in the surrounding area. All right. So one town that is pretty popular is Farmington. As you can see, it bumps right up against West Hartford. For a population size, just to give you a little frame of reference, Farmington's around 26,700 and West Hartford's over 60,000. So just to give you a little frame of reference. So it's less than half the size. You can find bigger lot sizes here. Homes are more spaced out here as well. There's also more newer subdivisions. West Hartford, if you watched one of my cons videos, some of the complaints about West Hartford is the homes are a little bit older. So you can find some newer construction here in Farmington as well. A couple other cool things about Farmington. They have winding trails, which is a fun little lake membership community that people can join for swimming and trails, and they do events. It's a pretty popular place in town that even residents from out of town will come into Farmington to try to join that community there. So that's one great thing about Farmington. They have some cool neighborhoods with views that are up in the mountains a little bit, up on ledge, where you get some really great views in Farmington, which I like. They have a great indoor soccer facility, which travel teams run out of, or year-round soccer events run out of there. So again, people from all different towns will come in for that. You also have the Farmington River that goes through here. People do tubing on the Farmington River, and some fly fishing is pretty big there. So it's definitely more rural, but also gives you that close proximity to West Hartford. Next town I want to talk about right here is Avon. Again, as you can see, it's got that great proximity. It shares a lot of the same characteristics as Farmington, with it being close. It also has some nice neighborhoods that are set up high with some good views. It has a lot of newer construction, versus the older homes in West Hartford. To give you a feel for population size, Avon's about 18,900. So it's actually a little smaller than Farmington, and about less than a third of the population of West Hartford. You definitely get, again, bigger lots here. Bigger lots, less people, gives you a little more privacy, a little more quiet than West Hartford in that great proximity. Some of my favorite parts about Avon, they have Dom's, a great coffee shop, which I mentioned in my coffee shops video. They have Avon Valley Farms, which is great for horse riding lessons. They have a new Whole Foods there that was built very recently, and it's a little complex that they're really building out and adding some business and shops in. That's pretty cool as well. So a lot of people like Avon for those reasons. Bloomfield, I did not include, even though you could see it touches it here. And the reason is the lots are a little smaller. In Bloomfield, it doesn't have quite the rural feel that Avon and Farmington have. Now, this is just my opinion too. So this is, obviously, if you talk to other people, they may say something different. I didn't go off any publication. This is just my feel from living in the area. I did not pick Hartford. Again, Hartford's a city. It's busy. It's even higher population than West Hartford. So I did not pick Hartford for that reason. It is not rural. Um, Down here, if we go to Wethersfield, Newington, again, a lot of smaller lot sizes here. Not quite the rural feel, and New Britain as well. So I did not include these towns because, in my opinion, they're not as rural. Okay. So we have Farmington, we have Avon. I did go to Simsbury. It doesn't touch West Hartford, but it is pretty close here. We live in a corner of West Hartford. We're about a 10-minute drive from Simsbury, so it is pretty close. Obviously, depending on what part of Simsbury that you're in. But great thing about Simsbury, again, population size is smaller, 24,500. So similar to Farmington there. They have definitely some cool parts about Simsbury. One is Folly Farms, a great horse riding facility. Another one is GTC, the Gymnastics Training Center. Is pretty popular gymnastics center for kids in the area. They have a place called Flammick Farm, which my family personally loves. You can go and you can pet horses and chickens and animals, and you can do ride the pony, and they have a little shop with apple cider and things like that. So it's a really cool place for kids to get out there and see animals. It's a really friendly environment. Flammick Farm is one of my favorite things personally about Simsbury. Another cool thing about Simsbury is they have a really cool. They have a few good state park facilities, but one of them is called Talcott Mountain Hike. It's the Headline Tower hike. Don't quote me on this. It's right around 3 miles, I would say, give or take. And it's a nice, slow elevation up, and you get to see Headline Tower at the top. There's some great views as you walk up at certain locations. It's definitely a favorite of mine. So Simsbury, population size is smaller, definitely more rural. You get a little more land, and again, still close to West Hartford. So these are my top three because they're close. But then also, if we're looking rural and still in, say, a half hour, 25-minute proximity, I am going to include Canton and Burlington too. Canton it's a small town. There's about 10,100 people. Definitely rural. Slower paced. Not as many people. The homes are a little more spread out. You have lots of cool farmland out here. They do have a little area called Collinsville with canoeing that you can do actually on the Farmington River that goes through there. It's a nice little area with shops. So Canton is a great small town. And then Burlington's also another small town. So if you really want a smaller town feel, and obviously you got to come a little farther away, but these two towns, Burlington has 9,500 or so people. So another really small town, and you're still located here towards central Connecticut. So the other thing to notice with these more rural towns that we're talking about is their tax rate is cheaper, right? They don't have as many shops and restaurants as, say, West Hartford. So the tax rate's cheaper, which is something that people like too when they're looking at shops. So that's a quick description of some of the popular rural areas that want that good proximity to West Hartford. So I hope this video helped give you a little more information. Again, a lot of this is personal preference. Some people really enjoy being closer to the action, and other people like to be a little bit off the beaten path, so to speak. So I wanted to just share my insights of living in this area for years to kind of help you and your family as you're gaining information. Again, my team is always happy to help. If you have questions, you want to dive into this a little more, we are always happy to talk. Please don't hesitate to call, and I hope you have yourself a great day.